Project sharing provides more flexibility for how a firm decides to divide the workload of a particular project. By allowing checkout on a per-object basis, Vectorworks is allowing for far more flexibility and granularity in how work is divided. This more closely resembles how work is commonly divided amongst a team in an architectural office. It also allows teams to access their shared project file through cloud-based storage, eliminating the need for a BIM server or a high-end dedicated server. In Vectorworks 2017, you're now able to check out individual objects in project sharing, giving additional control over your workflow. While it's still possible to check out full layers, it's no longer required. This allows multiple users to work on a single design layer or sheet layer at the same time. When in a working file, select an object that you want to work with. To check out the object selected, right-click on the object and choose Check Out, or go to the Modify menu and select Check Out, or begin to edit the object and it will ask you to check it out through a dialog. This same functionality applies to selecting multiple objects at once. If I want to edit this full section of seating, I can select all of the chairs and tables and check them out. In a situation where the checked out object is connected to other objects in the application, those objects will need to be checked out as well. If I try to move this door's location in the wall, it will prompt you that the wall also needs to be checked out. Once objects are checked out, there are a few different options for viewing the checked out information. Under the View menu, there are settings for project sharing options. Show objects using actual colors makes your document look as though project sharing wasn't turned on. Everything will use the standard highlighting and colors. Highlight objects I have checked out makes it so that any objects you've chosen to check out will be highlighted separately. Highlight objects using user colors makes it so that your objects highlighted in a color and each user who is also working on the project have their checked out objects highlighted in their own color. These colors are assigned through the project sharing settings. Select the File menu and choose Project Sharing. Under the Users tab, you'll find the color that each user's checked out objects will display as, and these can be edited here. These view settings can also be added to Quick Preferences in the top right. The object highlighting also displays in 3D and in different render modes. You can also check who has the object checked out by attempting to edit the object, or by hovering the mouse cursor over the object and looking at the object info queue. If a group, layer, or plugin object is checked out by a user, then every object within that container is checked out by that user. If the modification of an object changes its container object, then the container object must be checked out as well to the same user. When you've completed working on the objects you're working with, you'll need to choose to release them. Similar to checking out the objects, the release command can be found in the right-click menu on the objects or through the Modify menu at the top. So far, the options for checking out and releasing the objects are shown as an on-the-fly workflow where we are checking out objects when we need them. In predefined or static workflows, you'll want to have specific objects checked out for specific users. If you're looking to check out specific objects or know what objects you'll be working on, we now have a custom checkout and custom release commands found under the Tools menu that work similar to the custom selection command or custom modification dialog boxes that you may already be familiar with. As an example, let's say I know I'm going to be adjusting the seating in the cafeteria of this building. As opposed to selecting each table and chair and choosing to check them out, I'll go through the custom checkout command. The first line in the custom checkout dialog will say owner is none. This is to make the command only select objects that are not currently checked out. In this case, I know the symbols I'm using for this cafeteria, so I will choose to custom check out the 3 different symbols. This custom checkout command can be used to narrow down searches by layers, classes, object types, styles, fill attributes, font, and many other ways. With these tools, you can narrow down your custom checkout to check out only the objects wanted throughout a document. Once you've completed working on your objects, you can use the custom release command. Similar to the custom checkout command, you can narrow down your search to specific layers, classes, symbols, or etc. In this example, I've completed working on the tables, but I want to continue on the seats. In custom release, I'll choose to release those 2 symbols that I have checked out as the owner. In the custom release dialog, administrators on the project can choose to release objects that are currently checked out by other users. In this example, I'll be releasing the fixtures in the bathroom that are currently checked out by another user. If this is completed, a dialog will appear, letting you know that uncommitted changes from that user will be lost, so this will only be used in specific situations. You'll normally want the user to commit changes and release the objects themselves to avoid losing information. If you'll be checking out or releasing specific objects or criteria on a regular basis, you have the option through the top of both dialogues to save the criteria. This allows for quick access to selection criteria you've used previously. These sets of criteria are saved per project. Another advantageous area for object checkout are sheet layers. Multiple users are able to check out specific viewports or objects on the sheet layer. This will allow one user to work on the title blocks, one user to work on viewports and annotations, and another user to work on a separate viewport and annotations, all on a single sheet layer at the same time. It should also be noted that the previous options to check out full design layers or sheet layers is still an option. You can now also check out and release layers by right-clicking on the layer in the navigation palette or in the organization dialog. In addition to the changes in the object checkout and release, project files can now be stored on supported cloud storage locations. This is currently supported on Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, and Box. In order to sync these various cloud storage solutions, you'll need to have the local desktop syncing application for that specific cloud storage solution installed and running. Leave the project file in the shared folder location and save the working file locally. Do not move the project file out of your shared folder. When using cloud storage, there may be more of a delay compared to using local server solutions, as the project file needs to sync and then the file in the cloud also needs to sync through the cloud storage application. However, if there's a conflict with this, there are dialogues letting you know that Vectorworks is waiting for the cloud storage to sync before continuing.